Skyrim, a land filled with vampires, bandits, werewolves and Daedra. A land whose own people have been turned on one another by their beliefs. And now, with the return of the dragons, how will the poor sons and daughters of Skyrim cope? Well, I believe I know just the right man.
Hey, ugly!
A little Christmas spirit is just what they need to take the edge off things. There's only one problem. In Santa's journey across Tamriel, spreading Christmas cheer to all the boys and girls, he appears to have himself caught up in an imperial ambush. If only we had some sort of miracle. A Christmas miracle! So, for this challenge, we're going to play through Skyrim only using frost magic and our fists, wearing only special Santa armor, link in the description to the mod, and with the goal of spreading joy to the different holds of Skyrim. If you thirst for more of those Skyrim butt videos, pause, consider subscribing as there'll be many more goofy challenges to come. Now, of course, we chose to follow Hadvar because Santa isn't racist, and it was time to leave Helgen. I grabbed the thief stone on the way out because, as we all know, Santa is one sneaky little boy. And then we arrived at our first stop, Riverwood, wherein we received our first Christmas request. A young bard named Sven wanted us to destroy the reputation of another man over a girl they both liked. So, naturally, we turned him in and received our first Christmas elf. That's better. But on the way, we received our second Christmas request. What Luke and Valerius wanted for Christmas was his golden claw that had been stolen by a group of bandits hiding up at Bleak Falls Barrow. So I bought my first frost spell and went on my merry way. But first I had to get into something a little bit more appropriate. That's better. On the way, Santa decided to murder Rudolph, and this absolute hooligan, who I did try to spare, but he went after poor little Faendal, so I couldn't let that slide. I tried to get a sneak on these guys, but they weren't having it. So I had to give him a taste of the frost, and when my magic ran out, I'd hit him with the Santa Slam. And after killing this guy, I got my first level up, which I put straight into destruction magic. I then said goodbye to Faendal because Santa works alone when he's sneaking, and then proceeded to execute the worst stealth mission I've ever seen. I guess a man in a big red coat stands out a little, maybe? Once inside the barrow, I killed a couple Christmas haters, solved this stupid puzzle, and got into a fight with a massive spider. I found the thief who stole the claw, but he was on the naughty list, so you know what I had to do. And with that, I was able to get Lucan's claw back. On the way out, I entered a 3v1 with some Draugr, before absolutely mastering Sneak. Well, kind of, but not to worry. Before leaving, I came across some sort of ancient power, which unfortunately woke this dude, but he was no match for Santa. And then it was off back to Riverwood where I found Faendal waiting for me, and I finally returned the claw back to Luke and Valerius. Merry Christmas! Our final Christmas request was from Hadvar's uncle Alvor, who wanted us to inform the Jarl of Whiterun about the dragon attack in Helgen. Not your typical Christmas present, but who am I to judge? As I started to leave, I found my first sign of Christmas cheer beginning to spread. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, one might say. I made it to Whiterun and immediately ended up in a confrontation. It seems what this man wanted for Christmas was someone to justify his family drama. Adrian the Smith wanted someone to deliver a sword she'd made to her father, the Jarl's steward, and I was heading that way anyway, so I was happy to help. Before I reached Dragon's Reach, I ran into this knockoff Santa. And then I had to listen to the Jarl yap for a couple of hours before seizing the opportunity to hand over Adrian's sword. And after a little more yap, and witnessing Faendal undergo metamorphosis, Farengar gave me his Christmas list of a Dragonstone from Bleakfall's Barrow. Of course, as Santa, I already knew this and had taken it when getting the claw for Luke and Valerius. Now clearly, at this point I was becoming too powerful, and so someone saw it fit to summon a dragon. And unfortunately my fists weren't quite going to cut it for this one, so I sort of hid for most of the battle. But eventually, I did deal one of the finishing blows, so... And this is when I discovered I could absorb all of the dragon's Christmas cheer, granting me the ability to release my ho ho ho. And apparently, people noticed, because I received my next Christmas list asking for me to learn more Christmas cheer at Hag's End. On my way there, I had my first death to this little rascal, and then proceeded to die a couple more times to a bear with Faendal. On the way in, Faendal started slaughtering all the natives, but got way too close to death, so I had to let him go. Oh my god! From here on out, it was yet another failure of a sneak mission. There was this one for Swan who I just had to leave behind because I could not defeat her, even with the power of Christmas cheer. Eventually I made it out, or so I thought, because as it turns out, the whole dungeon was only to reach the actual place I was trying to go to. Yet again, this became another failed sneak mission. Thankfully, Hagraven stopped using magic in close range, so I only had to dodge their melee attacks, which made this significantly easier. Towards the end, I started using their own security system against them, which made for a much more enjoyable experience. Finally, I found the Word of Power, ticking off yet another person's Christmas list. Returning to Whiterun was truly a sight to behold, as all the people I'd helped out across my journey had begun to show their Christmas spirit.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look at the 5 and 10. It's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes that glow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Barney and Ben. Dolls that'll talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. There's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well.